This song is called Alice's Restaurant. It's about Alice and the restaurant. But Alice's Restaurant is not the name of the restaurant. It's just the name of the song, which is why we call the song Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Said walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Now it all started 2 Thanksgivings ago. That's 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, when a friend of mine went up to visit Alice at the restaurant. But Alice doesn't live in the restaurant. She lives in the church nearby the restaurant, in the bell tower with her husband Ray and Fasha the dog. And living in the bell tower like that, they had a lot of room downstairs where the pews used to be. And having all that room, seeing as they took out all the pews, they decided they didn't need to take out their garbage for a long time. When we got up there, found all the garbage in there, and we decided it'd be a friendly gesture to take all the garbage down to the dump. So that's what we did. We took the half-a-ton of garbage, put it in the back of a red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction, and headed on down towards the city dump. Well, we got there, and there was a sign and chain across the fence saying closed on Thanksgiving. We had never heard of a dump that was closed on Thanksgiving before. And with tears in our eyes, we turned around and looked for another place to put the garbage. We didn't find one until we came to a side road, and off the side of the side road was a 15-foot cliff, and at the bottom of that cliff was another pile of garbage. And we decided one big pile was better than 2 little piles, and instead of bringing that one up, we decided to throw ours down. That's what we did. Got back a red VW microbus, went back to the church, had a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, went to bed until we got up the next morning and got a call from Officer Obi. He said, "Kid, we found your name at the envelope at the bottom of a half-a-ton of garbage." I said, "Yes, sir, Officer Obi, I cannot tell a lie. I put that envelope under that garbage." After speaking to Obi for about 45 minutes on the telephone, we came to the truth of the matter and said we had to go down and pick up the garbage, and we had to go down and talk to him at the police officer's station. So we got in the back of the red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction, and headed on down to the police officer's station. Now, friends, there was only 1 or 2 things that could have happened when we got to the police officer's station. The first was, Obi could have given us a medal for being so brave and honest on the telephone, and that wasn't very likely, and we didn't expect it. And the second was, he could have bawled us out and told us never to be driving garbage around the vicinity again, which is what we expected. But when we got to the police officer station, there was a third possibility that we haven't even expected, and we was both immediately arrested and handcuffed. And I said, "Obi, I don't think we can pick up the garbage with these handcuffs on." He said, "Shut up, kid." He said, "Get back in the patrol car," and that's what we did. We got in the back of the patrol car and drove to the scene of the crime, unquote. I want to tell you about the town of Stockbridge, Massachusetts here. We have 3 stop signs, 2 police officers, and 1 police car. But when we got to the, quote, scene of the crime, unquote, there were 5 police officers, 3 police cars, being the biggest crime of the last 50 years, and everybody wanted to get in a newspaper story about it. They was using up all kinds of cop equipment they had hanging around the police officer station. They took plaster tire track prints, footprints, dog smell prints, and they took 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one explaining what each one was to be used use as evidence against us. They took pictures of the approach, the getaway, the northwest corner, southwest corner, and that's not to mention the aerial photography. After the ordeal, we went back to the jail. Obie said he's going to put us in the cell. He said, "Kid, I'm going to put you in the cell. I want your wallet and your belt." I said, "Obie, I understand you want my wallet so I don't have any money to spend when I'm in the cell, but what do you want my belt for?" He said, "Kid, we don't want any hangings." I said, "Obie, did you think I was going to hang myself for littering?" But Obie was making sure, and friend Obie was, because he took the toilet seat out so I couldn't hit myself over the head and drown. And he took the toilet paper so I couldn't bend the bars, roll the toilet paper roll out the window, slide down the roll, and have an escape. We was making sure, and it was about 4 or 5 hours later that Alice, remember Alice?
Yeah.
It's a song about Alice. She came down after a few nasty words to Obie on the side, bailed us out of jail. We went back to the church, had another Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, and didn't get up until the next morning when we all had to go to court. We walked in, sat down. Obie came in with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one, and sat down. Man came in, we said, "All rise." We stood up. Obie stood up with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one. And the judge walked in, sat down, the seeing-eye dog, and he sat down. Obie looked at the seeing-eye dog. And then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one, and then looked at the seeing-eye dog. And then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one, and began to cry because he realized that it was a typical case of American blind justice and there was nothing he was going to do about it. And he was fined $50 and had to pick up the garbage in the snow. That's not what I came to talk to you about. I came to talk about the draft. And there's a building down New York City called Whitehall Street where you walk in, you get injected, inspected, detected, infected, neglected, and selected. I went to get my physical examination there one day, and I walked in, I sat down, got good and drunk the night before, so I looked and felt my very best when I went in that morning. Because I wanted to look like the all-American kid from New York City. I wanted to feel like the I wanted to be the all-American kid from New York City, and I walked in, I sat down, I was hung down, brung down, hung up, and all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly things. And I walked in, I sat down, they gave me a piece of paper. See, kid, see the kind of psychiatrist, room 604. And I went up there, I said, "Shrink, I want to kill. I mean, I want to kill. I want to kill. I mean, I want to see blood and gore and guts and veins in my teeth." I said, "Kill. Eat dead, burnt bodies. I mean, kill. Kill." And I started jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill. Kill." And he started jumping up and down with me. We was both jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill. Kill. Kill." And the sergeant came in, picked the medal on me, said, "You're our boy." Didn't feel too good about it. Proceeded on down the hall, getting more injections, inspections, detections, deflections, and all kinds of stuff that they was doing to me at the thing there. And I was there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I mean, I was there a long time, and they was inspecting, injecting every single part of me, and they was leaving no part untouched. Proceeded through. When I finally came to see the last man, I walked in, I sat down after the whole big thing there. I said, "Kid, what do you want?" He said, "Kid, we only got one question. Have you ever been arrested?" And I proceeded to tell him the story of the Alice's Restaurant Massacre with full orchestration, 5-part harmony and stuff like that, and all and all. And he said, "Stop it right there." He said, "Kid, did you ever go to court?"
No.
And I proceeded to tell him the story of the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the afternoon. And he said, "Stop it right there." He said, "Kid, I want you to go over there and sit down on that bench that says Group W. Now, kid." And I walked over to the bench there, and there's Because Group W is that's where they put you if you may not be moral enough to join the army after committing your special crime. There was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly people sitting there on the bench. I mean, mother rapers, father stabbers, father rapers sitting right there on the bench next to me, and there was mean, nasty, and ugly, and horrible crime type of guy sitting on the bench next to me, and the meanest, nastiest one of them all, the biggest father raper of them all, come up to me and said, "Kid, what'd you get?" I said, "I didn't get nothing. I had to pay $50 and pick up the garbage." I said, "What were you arrested for?" And I said, "Littering." They all moved away from me on the bench there, and me and hairy eyeballs and all kinds of things. I said, "And creating a nuisance." And they all came back and shook hands, and we were talking about crime, all the stabbing, father rape, and all kind of groovy things. Until the sergeant came over, had a piece of paper in his hand, held it up and said, "Kid, this piece of paper's got 37 words, 47 sentences, 68 12, with all the details of the crime, time of the crime, and all things. You gotta say one of the arrest officer's name and all kind of things. You gotta say it, the crime, and talk." He talked for 45 minutes, and nobody understood a word that he said. We had fun filling out the forms and playing with the pencils on the bench there. And I filled out the massacre and 4-part harmony and all kinds of things, and put the pencil down, and I turned over the piece of paper. And there, on the other side, in the middle of the other side, away from everything else on the other side, in parentheses, capital letters, quotated, read the following words: "Kid, have you rehabilitated yourself?" Well, I put the paper down and I walked over to the sergeant and said, "Sergeant, you got a lot of damn gall asking me if I rehabilitated myself. I mean, I'm just sitting here on the bench. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench because you want to know if I'm moral enough to join the army, burn women, kids, houses, and villages after being a litter bug." The sergeant said, "We don't like your kind around here, and we're going to send your fingerprints off to Washington. And friends, somewhere in Washington is a study, in a folder, in black and white, is a copy of my fingerprints. And the only reason I'm telling you this story is because you may know somebody who's in a similar situation. Or you may be in a similar situation. And if you're in a situation like that, there's only one thing you can do. Walk into the shrink wherever you are, walk in and say, 'You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant,' and walk out. And if one person does it, they think he's crazy and they won't take it. And if 2 people do it, in harmony, they think they're both faggots and they won't take either of them. And if 3 people, can you imagine 3 people walking in singing a bar Alice's restaurant? They may think it's an organization. Can you imagine if 50 people a day? Can you imagine 50 people a day walking in and singing a bar Alice's restaurant and walking out? And my friends, they may think it's a movement. And that's exactly what it is. The Alice's Restaurant Anti-Massacre Movement, and all you got to do is join, is sing it the next time it comes around on the guitar. So we're just waiting for it to come around on the guitar again.
1 second.
Cheers. Here it comes. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Said walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant.
Except Alice.
That was horrible. You want to end war and stuff, you gotta sing loud. I been singing this song now for 25 minutes. I can sing it for another 25 minutes. I'm not proud. I'm not proud or tired. So we'll sing it next time it comes around with 4-part harmony and feeling. So we're just waiting for it to come around again. Alright. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Excepting Alice. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Said walk right in, it's around the back, just half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. But at Alice's restaurant. That's it, it's over.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Let's do it again!
Second annual!